Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Shizzo for Riziel.
Oh, I was gonna say what up, and then a big cough came over my. I
So,
tweeted right before I came on air, just before you start.
mhm.
Anybody with a shout out, and right away I see my man Justin Jackson. So we'll speak about you later in the show too. All positive things, my man. But first off, shout out Justin Jackson. Always day
Yeah,
one
so he's back on the field, you said, right?
representing, man, and he just looks smooth as fuck. I saw like his Instagram because I can't watch the games in Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
but he put on his Instagram a couple photos of just like pregame. He had like first off, the Chargers colors are just like beautiful as is. It's like that baby blue, and it's got like the dark navy blue. Um, but yeah, he was like doing warm ups, and he was like going for a catch, and he had some cleats on that were fire, and he just looked fresh as fuck. Like he just fits on a football field. Like it's like you in front of a microphone. It's just like it's like bread and butter, man. It just I was so happy to see him when I checked the ESPN thing to see if he got any burn. That he got his burn. He represented when he got the rock. So shout out to Justin, man.
Did he play well?
He only got the ball 3 times, but those 3 times he carried it like 30 yards or something like that.
Oh, that's pretty good. Three possessions and 30 yards?
Yeah,
That's 10-yard gain each time.
exactly. So it's like you give me the rock, you're gonna get something out of me.
Do you know what what number would be good for a situation like that? You know what I'm saying? Like, you know how like if you bat over 500, you're a beast. If you
Yeah.
shoot over like 45%, you're a beast from the three.
Yeah, it's tough. I want to say for like a running back or something, averaging like 4 or 5 yards a carry is
Yeah,
is
so
something that a coach would say
he
is
beasted.
good.
He beasted then.
OD beasted.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, and it's like it's showing the coach, and I think his coach is like a former running backs coach, so he knows like I trust this dude with the rock, but like he's got 2 other people in front of him who are nasty too, you know?
Yeah, but didn't you tell me one of them was struggling or something?
Um,
Or was this a hot minute ago and it's not like that anymore?
no, the starter, the OD nice dude, Melvin Gordon, he is like their top guy, gets paid millions of dollars. He was holding out the beginning of the year.
Oh,
So
and so that's
out of
why
the picture.
Justin was getting a lot more burn than.
Exactly. They were splitting it between him and this dude Eckler.
But now that he's healed and he's not injured anymore, I guess they're giving him decent playtime now. I mean,
Um,
three possessions. I don't know enough about football to comment, but it sounds to me like 3 possessions in a game is
No,
not
three's not that much.
okay. It's not that much.
Yeah. I think they run certain packages. I feel like 3 is like we're gonna get your feet wet.
By the way,
And
could you
like-
mute your TV? It's annoying the shit out of me. My bad.
Oh, I thought it was muted. My bad.
I just realized it now.
Yeah, 3 is like we're gonna get your feet wet a little bit and like prove to us that like you're still the same OG before you bounced. And then yeah, he proved them. He was like 3's good, so maybe next game he gets like 6 or 7. Maybe throws a touchdown in that shit,
Dude, it's
and then
so
it's a wrap.
hard.
It's just like takes off from there.
It's so hard to be a professional athlete, man. It's so hard. Your margins are like so even in a situation like the bald-headed dude on the Lakers who's hanging on for dear life, Caruso,
Oh, Caruso.
Robinson Caruso. Like
Yeah. Robinson.
that dude, like for him, he came up through the G League, but
Yep.
like he had to next level beast in the G League to even get a look at him.
Yep.
Like you have to be so, that's the thing. And you told me this one time when we were saying like, damn, it was back when the Charlotte Bobcats were by far the worst team in the league. And I was like, yo, you think like the Kentucky college team could beat them? And you were like, listen, man, how many NBA players are on the, on the Kentucky squad? 3, 2, something like that. How many NBA players are on the Bobcats? All of them.
Yeah.
So that
Well,
was
it's
your way
almost
of
like-
saying it's such a big jump that you can't
Yeah.
even make the comparison.
I almost feel like it's like politics in the sense where all the cards are stacked against you if you're not like a big name player. Like if you're trying to make it and you're nasty, like a
Mhm.
Bernie Sanders or something like that, everyone just in like the NFL corporate world is going to have it stacked against you. Like obviously they want you to do well, but there's agents, there's contracts, there's stuff that comes into play where a coach is like, I got to play the big name dude over you, man. Like
Yeah,
even
so-
though their jobs are riding on it.
There's like irrational biases too. Like some people are probably mad good, but they just didn't necessarily perform in the window that they had to perform in, and so they don't get that second look. And then some dudes are kind of coasting off their achievements of the past, but they're kind of buns now.
Yeah.
It's just so hard because you have to be... The only way to guarantee that you make it in any professional sport is to just be consistently super next level. Mm-hmm. And that's so hard to perform day in and day out and day in and day out. It's just so difficult.
Even with like a Caruso, like, so I don't know how far it is along in the NBA season, but it's pretty far. And he's straight beasted for like this whole amount of time.
Yeah, he's nice. He's
That's
nice.
what I'm saying. But have 2 games where he's fucking up.
And then they'll immediately bench him.
Bench him, and the GM's like, I think we got to put him back down in the G League.
Yep, because it's like, not expected. He's not expected to be good. It's like you're visiting in the good zone for a while is how they look at it. So
it's almost like I have so much more respect for Caruso for Justin, because it's just like they're that much better than a dude who is like maybe fumbling and still
there's no wiggle room. Because
there's no wiggle room
because they don't have the name thing.
Exactly.
Where you go, oh, that's this person who was always the like top dude. So even if he messes up, you got to understand that that's just an anomaly. That's not the norm. So they get more wiggle room that way. It's like Andrew Wiggins. He was buns for a hot minute when he came in the NBA, even though he was beasting before he got in the NBA. But like he was given that wiggle room because it's like, well, you're Andrew Wiggins.
Yep.
So you have that name. Yeah, it's crazy how it works, man.
Every single bust #1 pick in the NBA. In the NBA draft.
Wait, are we just gonna act like that burp didn't happen? We can't just start talking about something else.
That was like a combination of, I've been trying to eat healthy. That was a combination of some chicken French, which, if you're at an Italian restaurant, do you know about chicken French or chicken Franchise?
Yeah. Oh, chicken Franchise. Yeah, absolutely. It's delicious.
Yeah, like I think chicken French is just the lazy way to say it.
Yeah, I've never heard anybody call it chicken France. I've heard chicken franchise though.
Yeah, I think chicken.
It's actually really good. It's really good, but you got to get it from a legit Italian place. You can't get it. Yeah,
Italian Village next to the ice cream shop.
Yeah, mad good.
It's like, because it's like a butter lemon sauce like mix, and sometimes they'll throw like some broccoli in it or like some green shit that just is just perfectly like cooked with the chicken.
It has a great flavor to it.
That's a low-key underrated Italian dish.
Super, super underrated.
Because when
really
I see
good.
on the menu, my go-to is chicken parm.
Yep.
Like staple. But I'll see that shit and I'm like, I'll have to like, you know.
If you're leaning towards your healthy stuff, then you definitely go for that. Because you don't even.
Underrated?
What's underrated?
Chicken marsala.
Oh, chicken marsala too. Absolutely. Yeah. Those are both staples.
Oh, like there's so many. That's why Italian, I think, is like the strongest food category. Like they can hold their weight against any other freaking heritage or culture or whatever the hell you want to call it.
That's very true. Although I will say that I think a lot of them are good. Like everybody's got their thing. You know what I mean? Like everybody's got something. The only people that don't have anything is British people have nothing. Fish and chips, mate. Oh, that's Australian.
People will swear by fish and chips.
What's that?
People will swear by fish and chips.
No, I mean, listen, if I'm in the UK, I'm having fish and chips because it's just like they fry the hell out of some fish to make it taste like a chicken finger, and then you eat it.
Yeah. I still remember Ed Sheeran was doing like a 60 Minutes, and they went back to like his hometown of Manchester or something like that, and he was just like, I always stop here for some
fish and chips.
They like went into some like raggedy old place and like they
I
just
like
served
some of his songs. You like some of his songs? I like some of his songs.
That's on my bucket list. I've never been to a concert, but I want to go to an Ed Sheeran. Like me and you should go to an Ed Sheeran concert. How out of place?
Why does he like jump the line of all the other stuff? Like there's mad other stuff that we would probably prefer going to.
I think I'm pretty like emotional and like I like feel connections with people for some reason. Like I feel like if he pulled this, because I heard at his concert he like just like free solos a lot of his shit. Like he'll just get up there with his guitar.
And it's good when he does it too. It's good. Like it's good no matter how he does it. He's rare in that sense.
It's just like, you know, it's raw. It's just unfiltered, and like I really feel like he's putting his whole heart into it. Like almost how like a 13 or 12-year-old girl feels at a Taylor Swift concert. I feel like I'd have that connection with Ed Sheeran. Is that weird to admit?
No, I mean, I definitely, I like what you're saying, and I semi-agree with it, but it's just funny to me that, like, Ed Sheeran, of all the people, he skipped the line. Like, you could have hit me with, like, 10 other things that we like more than Ed Sheeran to be like, let's go to this concert. But I kind of understand what you're saying because the argument is that specific kind of music that Ed Sheeran does, which makes it conducive to being good live.
Yes.
Like, it's got a very specific live element to it. Like, I have heard him do it where he is just playing his guitar and singing, and even then I'm like, oh, damn, like, that's pretty good. And I'm a tough critic when it comes to that stuff. Like, if somebody's trying to sing and it's on some a cappella shit, like, don't do that because you're going to fuck it up. Like, you're going to fuck it up.
There's a station on Pandora. If anybody's trying to go to bed or if they're just trying to be in chill mode, if you got a girl at the crib and you're like, fuck, I just want to put some chillin' ass music on, Boyce Avenue Radio will change.
What's that? Never even heard of that.
It is, they're all, I think I don't know, I'm surprised I never told you about this.
No.
They just play all covers to shit, but they just kill it.
Oh.
Like every single hot song, like they'll do an Usher song and they'll just like a cappella. They might have some music in the background or something like that, but they just OD freak it.
I never even heard of this. So Boyce Avenue is a group?
Yes.
And
Boyce
they're just a
Avenue's
cover group. They cover all different songs.
Exactly.
So actually, this leads into a poll question that I asked the other day, and I want to get your opinion on this. So I said, if you try to remix a song that was good to begin with, 90% of the time it becomes much worse. If it's not broke, don't fix it. And then I put true and false to that. And before I give you the answer, I'll ask you, what do you think of that? So if you like a song and then they remix it, 9 out of 10 times it gets worse when they remix it. Do you agree or disagree?
I think I disagree with. I just think 9 is a little aggressive.
All right, so give me your number. How many times out of 10?
I think I would say a high 6. Maybe a high 6 you could push me over the edge to 7 if you just nudge me. Like I'm on my tippy toes.
I could definitely count on 2 hands the songs that got better when they were remixed.
Yeah, same. Like, yeah, I'm thinking of a few songs. Like, there's some songs that are just like iconic bangers. Like some like old school, like those what are those like freestyle type music, like the old school that just have like the fast beat. I can't think of any of the Frankie J.
No. Frankie J. Yeah, Frankie J was a singer back in the day.
No, it wasn't Frankie J. Stevie B.
Oh, they don't know about this.
Something. He sang all, like, he's got a whole bunch of bangers, and those, like, if it's just an iconic song, like this is the rhythm of the night,
right? Mm-hmm.
Like, you know the beat is hot, you know it's just a banger, like a club banger, and then you bring it back now and just like casually throw in like a little bit of change to it, you're gonna get by because the beat is just so iconic and so hot.
On that, your exact example is what I disagree with, because
Really?
the original song is so good you can't change it. Like, people learn the ins and outs and every little nuance and detail of a hot song that's like, you know, like a top of the charts type song. And then if you try to switch it up even a little bit, people will be like, what are you doing? Like the Backstreet Boys, I turned on the other day on like Access TV, some weird network. Yeah. They were having a concert. It was Backstreet Boys and who were the ones who came, the first boy band that your brother's era?
Yeah, New Kids on the Block.
New Kids on the Block. They had both of them. And New Kids on the Block actually semi-freaked it because they didn't change the formula. They did their songs.
Yep.
Backstreet Boys,
they try to come up with new shit, right?
They tried to do their songs while having like new live music in the background that wasn't the music. And I was like, yo, this is straight up bad. Like, it's not even like, I could kind of see, no, like, play the shit the normal way. You can't do this.
Yeah.
So they were trying to like remix it and tweak it. And it's like, nah, you got to, if it's not broke, don't fix it. The song went number one when you sang it the original way. If you had released this, you wouldn't be anybody. Nobody would even know your name.
Yes. I think there's that's why there's two different categories. I think the Backstreet Boys, were popular because their songs had good lyrics. It wasn't necessarily the beat was that good.
Nah, the beats were fire too, man.
You think so?
Oh, absolutely. Are you kidding me? When that "As Long as You Love Me" the beginning drops. Like,
Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun,
That's
dun,
iconic.
dun, dun,
Well,
dun,
but a lot of
dun,
that
dun.
shit is like low key background, and it's them singing like "As long as you love." I can't get any beats to any songs right on this podcast. I was getting clowned by so many people because I was singing the Electric Slide so wrong, and they were
It's
like,
time for the electric slide. Did
No,
I mess
because
it up too?
I think you had it right, and I kept doing one beat that was like I was doing bum 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 bum
Dun,
bum
dun,
bum.
dun, dun.
And
What's
they were
that
like,
from? Do the hustle. Dun, dun,
Yeah.
dun, 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 dun. That's the hustle, yeah.
And you kept saying the right shit, and everybody was like, you just kept repeating the "Do the Hustle" beat.
And by the way, when you said Frankie B, I think John B.
Oh, is John B a
I
thing
think
too?
so. I'm going to look it up right now. John B, they don't know about us. Yeah, John B, they don't know. It's not
Was that
Frankie
like
B
a
I
old
wasn't
school
thinking of.
freestyle?
What's that?
Was that like a freestyle type?
No.
Freestyle music type.
If I played
right?
I can't play any of these songs because it'll get our thing messed up. But
Mhm.
John B is, you would know the song. I can't sing this one. Don't listen to what people say.
I know that. Yep.
Yeah, exactly. I knew all I had to
Like-
do was 2 lines, no matter how terrible I sounded.
Like here's my Sandstorm.
Sandstorm.
It was Sandstorm was like when we were in high school. That was like if you remember the club that was on in New Rock.
Yes. I
What
know
was
this
that?
song.
Eminon? No.
I don't know the name. Darude, Sandstorm.
Yes, you know it.
Yeah,
Like, listen
I
to
know
it.
the song, but it's just not clicking in my mind right now. But I definitely know it. If I hit play,
Yeah.
I'd know it, but I can't. What a weird situation you two put us in. I want to just press it and listen, and I can't.
Yeah, I think if the beat, like Chris Brown, I think has remade some things. Like Jason Derulo, I feel like made his career on just stealing songs. Pitbull, I think, took a lot of hot songs and like just made them, like a remix version.
You know what's a good one? The song "Let Me Love You Down." There was an original, and then there was a next shit.
Yep.
And that's actually a good debate because some people will say I like the original, and some people will say I like the remix. That one I actually lean more towards the remix.
There's so many that now that come to think of your question, like some of the most iconic songs were some whack shit to start. Like I think Vanilla Ice's "Ice Ice Baby" was some shit. Tupac's "Changes" was some shit.
Yes, Tupac's "Changes" was that's right. Tupac's "Changes" was the whole beat was to some dude singing.
The whole shit.
Yep.
I'll be on a road trip and it'll be like, din-a-doon, din-a-doon, din-a-doon. I'm like,
That's
yeah,
just the
Tupac.
way
Like,
it is.
yeah, I'm like, I roll down the windows. I'm getting ready to get my
Some
hood,
things
my
will
hood shit
never
on.
change.
Yeah, and then it's just some like 60-year-old white dude like, that's just the way it is. I'm like, where's Tupac? He disappeared?
Yeah, that was the original. Yeah, Chris Brown did that with the song "Loyal." I don't remember what the beat is though. No, not "Loyal." It was with the. Damn it! This is gonna bug me every time I think of a song and I can't immediately convey to you what I'm thinking.
Not Forever, right?
No. Hold on, I'll tell you in 1 second.
That's my favorite song. Is Chris Brown "Forever"?
Forever, never, never.
No.
Forever on the dance floor.
Yes, that one. Yeah. It's like I waited my whole life for this one night. It's gonna be me, you. If anyone ever like sees me at a wedding or a party
Play
or
that
some
song.
shit, put that song on.
I'm gonna tell you the one I'm thinking of in a second. I just gotta find it. He's got so many damn songs. That's the problem.
Chris Brown has a million. Shout out to Susie. Susie, last time I said gibberish, it's gibberish.
Yeah, it's gibberish, but I think it's spelled with a G. So
Yeah, but that's such a weird word.
yeah, like it's understandable you didn't get it because it's spelled with a G. I think, even though sometimes I spell it with a J because fuck you, silent G or G that's supposed to be something else.
Silent. What are you looking up? Chris Brown's bangers?
Yeah, the song that I'm thinking of, just so I could tell you everybody the beat that they took from another song.
Yeah, there's mad songs, man, and it's sort of like crazy because what was Puff Daddy's? Puff Daddy had one. Was it "Been Around the World"?
Yes, been around the world,
Yeah, that's another one.
Oh,
that
Show
like,
Me, Kid Ink and Chris Brown, Show Me.
Okay. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
They took that beat from another song, but I'm blanking on that song that they took it from.
Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I think it can be done successfully with iconic song. Like if someone took, you got $100 bill, put your hands up. You got a $20 bill, put your hands up.
Yeah, but
and like turn that into some shit now.
It's so, but almost every time they'll take a good song and then somebody tries to tweak it and they make it worse. It's like when they try, like I was saying with the Backstreet Boys, where like live musicians will be like they want to be more artistic than just going through their songs, so they try to put their new little spin on it. And like you'll notice sometimes when they're trying to sing like a note, they'll like start like doing the thing where they make their voice go like way up and then way back down, and they throw little like curveballs at you, and you're sitting there like, don't do that. Do it the way it's in the thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, so anyway, I'll give you the numbers now. People agree with me. It was 73% said true.
Wow.
If you try to remix a song that was good to begin with, 90% of the time it becomes much worse.
Sometimes, like, also there's so many songs that you just forget about that it, like, if I were to go back to one of the iPad, like the iTouches or whatever the hell we had back in middle school.
iPod,
the ones that you had to circle around. There'd be some bangers on there, man. Like,
well, that's
like Chingy. Where's like,
right
shit
there.
like that.
Yeah. There's always. I love it when you don't. It's funny, and I tell me if this is true to you, because I've noticed this for a long time. I've noticed this. Mm-hmm. If I'm driving and a song I really like comes on the radio, that song will sound at least twice as good as if I think of the song and then I look it up and press play on it.
Oh, you think so? I disagree with you on that.
Really? I'm surprised by that.
I feel like because I've built up this song in my mind that now I go to YouTube and I could sort of like enjoy it. And you're saying the unexpected is a little better.
Yeah, it works opposite with me. It's like I feel like when I think of a song I like and then I go through the process of finding it to play it, there's like the anticipation for it.
Yeah.
And then when I press it, it's almost like it never lives up to how hyped the anticipation was, even though I like it. Whereas if I get hit with it out of the blue, it just like, it like catches a flow in my mind where it's just like I'm there with that song all the way linked up, and it sounds so much better than it would have if I had to look for it.
Do you ever
that element of surprise does it. That's what it does for me.
Do you ever get like when a radio station plays some extreme banger from like back in the day, and it's like off the beaten path, like they usually just play the straightforward shit, but they hit you with some Juvenile back that ass up with the Lil Wayne verse, because sometimes they'll cut that shit out.
I know when they get it with the wabbity wabbity, with the wabbity wabbity.
Yeah. It's like just play the whole shit.
Yeah.
But towards the end of the song, do you ever get sad? Like, damn, they might not play another banger for a hot minute.
No, because what I do is that's when I'll like
go to YouTube or something.
Yeah, and I'll just play it over and over until I'm good. And it won't sound as good the next few times, but I'm still like, I'm happy that I'm listening to this again.
Yeah, that's true.
Does it ever take you back to times when you heard the song in a unique situation, or no?
Oh, every single time.
Okay.
It brings me back to a situation where I'm like, I have a distinct memory of driving to the poker club in Yonkers, and I think I won that night. And it was just like a summer night, and it was just like windows were down, and I left the club. I had money in my pocket, like a couple $100. It might have been like one of the $1,000 nights, and it was like a Juvenile song or something like that. And it was just like, what would I do without my baby? And I was just like driving.
That's Ja Rule.
Who did I say? Oh, Juvenile.
Yeah.
Ja Rule. And I was just like, just vibing. And it just, every time I hear that shit,
that's what you think of?
It takes me back to Cross County, right before you get to like, there's like the shopping center shit on the right hand side.
Exactly what you're talking about. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had that too, but not as much. I feel like smell does that more for me.
Yeah.
Like if I get a smell of something I haven't smelled in a while, sometimes that'll immediately take me right back to the place where I smelled that in a unique situation.
Yeah.
But in the case of songs, yeah, that does that for me. But it's not. I feel like most of the times when I have heard songs, it's just been on some driving normal situation type stuff, so it doesn't always do it. But if there was a unique thing tied to it, then yes. I remember one time I was working out at my college gym, and they used to have, you could control the volume on the music. And, Sometimes I would usually be in there by myself, and like I would just crank it up if I heard a song that I liked. And so I did it, and then there was this OD brolic a black dude who was working out in there with me, and I didn't even really see him, but like I was working out and I cranked it up because Usher came on. It was There Goes My Baby, and then there was the part where he goes, "I'm like ooh wee baby." I didn't even realize that he was there, and I was singing the Usher song OD, like I was on some like next level, like embarrassing, like in a room by myself type stuff.
Yeah.
But I remember like he was like next to me, and he was singing the same line, and then we dapped each other up, and I was like, "That's what's up."
I'm gonna give you mad props because low key, you should make a video because you used to freak the fuck out of the Chris Brown like dance. Like how he used to just do a little moonwalk and then like shimmy a little bit. Didn't you? You had that shit down a little bit, right?
Well, it was sort of embarrassing because there was one summer where I worked on two things one summer. It was
I know one of them.
Go ahead, say it.
You used to just dribble with your left hand.
OD
or some shit,
all
right?
day. I would just take
it was nonstop.
Nonstop because everybody knew that I could only drive to the right, and I'm fast.
Yeah,
but I could only drive to the right, so you just got to guard my right, and that's it. So I worked,
just like something just clicked, like you were determined to just hit it with the left.
I'll just train my left hand because here's the thing, and not a lot of people know this about me. I'm a righty in golf, but I'm actually a lefty as a hockey player. I'm not ambidextrous. I'm not. I'm definitely a right-hander. But for some reason, hockey, I was a lefty. I picked up a hockey stick. What felt natural was being a lefty. Really weird, I know. Really weird. But so I thought I'm just going to train my left hand, and what I did is with all that work over that summer. I gained a left, but my left is only good for a couple dribbles. Like it's good. I could do like three, like three quick ones. So what I do is I drive left and then switch back to my right hand after I get passed on the left. Yeah.
Yep.
So, but anyway, all summer I did that, and the other thing I did was do that, figure out exactly how to do the glide. And then
the glide, you were nasty with it.
I learned how to do the glide, and it was because of the Lil Wayne and Lloyd song "You."
Yes,
that was the summer that I did that, and I got good with it. But you can only do it in certain circumstances with like you have to like have like slidey shoes on, or you have to have like just your socks on or something.
Yeah.
But I learned how to do it. It was so cool.
You was that was the one that was like stop.
Yep.
Wait a minute. The way you look, that girl, you done got
that was the banger, man.
All in it.
Such a good song.
I just wanna be with you tonight.
You're sort of freaking it right now. I know.
There was that, and then you remember the dude Jay Sean had a hot one too.
Jay Sean.
He made something with Lil Wayne too that was like an OD banger. I forgot what his was, but if you say the name of it, it was like Jay Sean and Lil Wayne.
How do you spell Jay Sean?
I think it's just like JAYSEAN or something. Damn, this podcast is gonna take people down memory lane.
I made it. Hit the lights.
No.
Down.
Yeah, baby, are you down? And then Lil Wayne was like, even if the sky is falling down like she's supposed to be.
He was on every song for like a hot minute in the 2000s. Like every song was featuring Lil Wayne. You even have to look. It was just guaranteed featuring Lil Wayne.
He had a hot like he was almost on some Jordan 6 championships in a row type of shit.
Yeah. But we were,
or not in a row, but
we knew of him back when he was Hot Boys. Like, The Block is Hot, OD, old school, 1990s.
It's sort of love that, like, I think Juvenile was probably the first one, or no, Master P was probably the first dude. And he just put, like, everybody on. Like,
Master P's was Silk the Shocker.
But I think he's in that same spiderweb as Lil Wayne and all those people. He was
not in Cash Money.
I think he's like, or was it Birdman who just was
Birdman.
like the OG?
It was Birdman. It wasn't because Master P was not in Cash Money.
But he was New Orleans. I think he was the same like.
I don't know if Master P was New Orleans, but I know Cash Money was New Orleans, and Master P was not in there. Let me see.
I think Master P was New Orleans.
No, Master P was not in Cash Money.
He wasn't in Cash Money, but is he New Orleans?
Let's look at that.
Because that's mad love. Like they just like hyped up all their boys, and literally they all got put on, and they all
Yeah,
had
he's
like
from New Orleans, but he's
okay.
not.
Yeah, I know he wasn't a part of Cash Money
Yeah,
shit.
he wasn't with them. I'm telling you, it was like him, Silk the Shocker, C Murder.
What do you think you would do if you had like the opportunity, you were placed like back in time before something took off? Like you had the knowledge you know now, but they dropped you back into like 1992. What would you like? Who would you call Mark Zuckerberg and try to befriend him? Or like would you like start your YouTube channel back then?
It's funny if
Like I always think about that.
if you were placed in a previous time, like you said, you could get super rich just from simple investments.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I try to think of that. I'm like, what?
Just buy like a couple shares of Amazon, buy like $1,000 worth of Amazon and Facebook, and you'll be a multi-millionaire. If you do that,
yes, but I want to like go above and beyond. Like I want to be friends with Jeff Bezos or something like that, or like hit Bernie Sanders up then and be like,
those dudes are
let's
evil,
be boys
though.
now.
Jeff Bezos and Mark Zuckerberg, those dudes are mad evil. You don't want to chill with them.
But they probably had some fun. Like, well, they probably didn't have fun, but like Mark Cuban, I'm sure he had some fun. Like getting
Mark Cuban still has fun. He just Twitter fights people and judges products on Shark Tank.
That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think of like who would be the G'est person that I would like call up and be like, hey man, what are you working on today? And they're like, oh, I'm just grinding. I'm in my garage just trying to figure shit out. And I'm like, I probably would have fucked up their shit. Like, I would have had Mark Zuckerberg, like, who knows, looking at fucking weird viral dog videos or something if he was chilling with me.
I think a more interesting question is what if you could travel back to a specific time period, what time period would you pick and why? That's a good question. I think immediately you get rid of everything before like air conditioning and TV.
Yeah, I obviously don't want to be back in a time when there was like slavery and shit like that.
Yeah,
Like, that
nobody
would be
wants
no
to be
fun.
back in that time. Like
So like you could chop out everything up until like what, like the 1960s or something like that?
yeah, but that's the thing is like there's no good time. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, that's
but
true too.
you can time travel to see a specific thing. Like if there's a specific like would you time travel to watch Jordan win one of his championships, like the best one?
No, probably not. Maybe to see like the Knicks win a championship or something like that.
You got to go back to the Walt Clyde Frazier years for that.
Yeah.
That's
Or like
old school.
I would have liked to just been on the beach when Moses parted that shit, like just to see the
but
shit.
that shit
like,
was
just,
fake. That didn't actually happen. So you just be waiting and nothing would happen.
or like some shit. What's real? Adam and Eve are real, right?
No, that's not real.
There was probably an Adam and Eve.
Yeah, probably two porn stars, one named Adam, one named Eve, and they were on a set together.
How weird is it, do you think, that for like all the stereotypical couples, like there's definitely an Adam and Eve that are married somewhere. There's definitely a Jack and Jill that are married somewhere.
Jack and Jill for sure.
And everywhere they go, they got a hero like, oh, Jack and Jill, are you going to go up the hill?
I know. That's why you try not to bring up like you know, if somebody's got a name where you know people have asked 1,000 times about it, you don't bring it up.
Or just someone with like a random ass name. Like if your name is like Ashley Robertson and you got to marry some guy named like Bill McDick or some shit like that, like for the rest of your life, your name is now going to be like Ashley McDick.
It's really fortunate that there are so many last names that just have that double meaning. Like there's so many cocks out there.
So many cocks, but then there's weirder shit than that. Just like,
well, there's Dick Butkus was a freaking football player. His name is Dick Butkus.
And he's one of the greats too. So
I
like,
know.
announcers have to say his name all the time and act like they're not saying Dick Butkus.
How weird would your name have to be for you to change it? I'll tell you this right now: if my name was Dick Butkus, I would have changed it.
Oh, yeah. I don't know if my grandma is lying or not, but she was married to a guy whose last name was Dick, and I think his first name was Pat. I think his name was Pat Dick. And that was like, that's directly in my family. That might have been like one of my grandmother's husbands.
Well, I don't understand why people name people Richard and then people call him Dick. Like
That's a weird one.
the abbreviations that don't make sense are kind of annoying. It's like his name's John. Hey, Jack.
Yes.
His name is John. Like Jack
Yeah.
should be short for Jackson.
James and Jim. Like, Jim's its own name.
Yeah, like why? How'd you get Jim from James?
Hey
What?
Jimmy. Maybe that's James. That's James. Like, why are you calling him Jimmy?
That's mad obnoxious. Language is weird, man.
It
I got
does
another.
suck for women though that they just have to automatically change their last name.
They don't
to
though.
fuck
They don't
up
have
shit.
to do it. It's obviously a tradition that most of them decided to follow. But there's
Yeah.
plenty of hyphenated, and there's plenty of women that keep their own name.
Yeah, I feel like with the hyphenated one, like whenever I see that, like
It could be sort of G. It could be sort of G.
It's
because-
sort of G for the woman, but like it's sort of a bitch for the dude. Like
Who cares? Who cares if somebody takes your name or not? It's not that serious. It's just a name.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, it's just a name. There's like nothing to it.
Yeah, that's true.
So the other question I asked, I can't wait to get your thoughts on this. I have a feeling I know what you're gonna say, and I have a feeling you know what I'm gonna say. The question is a hot dog technically a sandwich? That's the poll question.
No, hot dog isn't a sandwich.
I agree with you. I say no too.
Yeah.
And so far, I did the poll, and we have 20 minutes left in it. It's been over 6,000 votes already, but so far, 56% of the audience agrees with us.
Good,
But
because
I'm surprised, though. 44 is a diesel number for people that disagree with us.
Yeah, people just want to be argumentative with that shit. It's just like, oh, there's bread on it.
Exactly. They try to be argumentative by going to the definition and like just like being too aggressive and saying like this. The definition of a sandwich is what? And then you're like, I don't know, something sandwich between two pieces of bread. And then they're like, yeah, and what's a hot dog? And you're like,
and technically that shit's not wedged in between two pieces of bread. It sort of is like chilling on the side of the fucking bread.
yeah, it's sort of like the bread is cut
like
open in the middle, but it's
resting in there.
connected, so it's one piece of bread. But then,
Yeah.
People could turn that around on you and say like, okay, well then is a hot dog a panini? Because a panini is like one piece of bread and stuff on it. You know what I mean? But still, it's
Yeah.
like, I still say no because it's like back in the day, there was this hearing in the Supreme Court on porn, and they basically said like, when they were asked to define what it is, they were like, we know it when we see it.
Yeah.
That was their answer. Their answer was sometimes you don't have like hard and fast rules. Sometimes you don't have textbop definitions. Like we know it when we see it.
Exactly.
And I feel like that's the same thing with food. You can't try to come up with some like strong definition that you got to be rigid with. No, we colloquially refer to a hot dog as a hot dog and it's its own thing. Like nobody would say, let me get a sandwich, and then they give you a hot dog. You'd be like, why are you, I asked for a sandwich.
Yes.
You gave me a hot dog. Like, what are you doing? It's like, well, technically, like, shut up.
It brings out like a Webster's dictionary.
Yeah, it's like, just stop. You can't try to like troll us with being too literal with the definitions.
It's the same thing, and I didn't think that this shit would generate this much attention from people, but the same thing with bone-in wings and bone-out wings, and now everybody's saying chicken nuggets are boneless wings. Just on the eye test, a chicken nugget is different from a fucking boneless wing. If I ordered chicken nuggets and they brought me some boneless wings, like the small little shits, I'd be like, no, I'm sorry, these are boneless wings. These aren't chicken nuggets, chicken fingers. It's like
I saw the
category.
I saw the argument you were having.
It's just OD, like
progressive voice came at you, and then you were like, "Nah, like boneless wings are better."
He's just a troll now, man. I've always, he's like a pull string doll. You know the 5 tweets that he's gonna roll through. It's gonna be like, retweet if you think Bernie Sanders is gonna win the presidency. Big Bang Theory sucks, or Big Bang Theory is the greatest show out there. Boneless wings, Kyle Kalinske, blah 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 blah. Like, you know his 4 or 5 tweets that are coming, and people still get riled up for them. He definitely goes to Buffalo Wild Wings and orders some boneless wings.
But,
that motherfucker's not eating. I want to see him tweet a picture of him eating some bone-in wings.
Even
And
if you say boneless wings are slightly different from the wings with the bones in it, I would say to you, yeah, but the boneless wings are better.
1,000%.
Because it's not it's OD work to eat a wing with the bone in it. You got to get your hands dirty. Like, you're signing up for a whole thing. It's not like you're signing up for some extra shit. You got to eat it, and then you got to use the hand wipes, and then sometimes you get a funky bite of the chicken, or sometimes you bite into a tendon.
And his blood, and it's red, and the bone's all brown and shit like that.
Now, you can avoid all that just by getting some boneless wings and get the same banging sauce on it.
By getting the same banging sauce on it. It's mind-boggling to me that there's some people out there that are like just trying to be on the other side of that argument, and they're like,
I think, to be fair to them, I think they really believe it. Like, I think there are plenty of people who really want a bone-in wing.
Nah, but I had the same argument as like what you say about like the sugary ass drinks. Like, you all want to drink that shit. Like, you like the reason you're not drinking it is for some reason you're health conscious, or like you got diabetes or some shit like that. But just on the pure taste of it, it tastes better than some fucking scotch or some shit like that. Like, you can't argue that some Sex on the Beach or some funky, mango paradise bonanza drink doesn't taste better than like a fucking gin and tonic.
I know. I think that they would argue that it's an acquired taste. So when, like, all the hard alcohols, like, you won't like it the first time, but if you keep doing it, then maybe by like the 6th or 7th time, you've acquired a taste for it. You know what I'm saying?
But here's my argument. Any hard ass out there who's got who could probably beat my ass, that's sitting at the bar that orders their scotch straight and, whiskey on the rocks, or, give me some Jack Daniels and just one ice cube. If you put like a pina colada, or you told the dude like, hey, just try this Shirley Temple, he's not going to drink it and be like, oh, he's going to be like, that tastes good.
Yeah, you're never going to get that negative reaction from something like that. That's so true. I ordered a Shirley Temple the other day, by the way. I've decided to just fully embrace that I like Shirley Temples. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, because it doesn't, when you order it, it doesn't feel like you feel like a child.
Yes.
But when you get it, you're like, I'm so happy I got this. Why did I ever not get this?
Do they put an umbrella in it?
Nah, no umbrella. Just a regular glass.
I used to love those.
The last
umbrellas.
one was a little heavy on the Sprite, though, I think. Like, the one that when I was with you and we had it, and I had it in LA, that one was done just right.
Sometimes they can OD on the grenadine a little bit and make it a little bit too strong that way, but I've never heard them ODing on the Sprite.
No, see, that's the thing for me. I think I like it when they put a little bit too much grenadine in there.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't see the argument. Like, I could get if you're a fan of bone and wing, but to say that like boneless is like superior to that shit,
and it's not the same as a chicken finger or a chicken nugget. That's just not true. There's very clearly they're a different size and a different thickness. Pause. Like, they're very clearly that. I've never in my life mistaken a boneless wing for a chicken nugget or a chicken finger. Ever. Yeah. Like, chicken fingers are a lot skinnier, not as thick, and a nugget is just smaller overall, both in terms of thickness and length.
Yes.
So boneless wings are just a totally different beast. Yeah.
A nugget to me reminds me of like a McDonald's nugget, like the sort of like rounder. It's like what type of shape is that? I don't know what type of shape it is, but there's 3 different categories of chicken. But I do get mad. Like, you should almost get refunded at McDonald's or be allowed to bring your chicken back to the grocery store if you get that chewy, unedible type of chicken. Yeah,
every now and then they throw a curveball at you. Chicken's one of those things where you get what you pay for, and if you pay for like the high-end chicken, you're so much less likely to get one of those funky bites. But those funky bites are a meal killer, man.
They fuck your whole... If you get... Oh, this used to be the worst. I would order like... I forgot. McDonald's might have done a campaign one time where it was just like 20 McNuggets or something OD. It was just mad nuggets. Burger King does it. It's like 10 for like $1.
Damn.
If you get that chewy piece of chicken on your first 1 or 2, it's a wrap. You can't eat the rest of them.
For me, it's the worst at the end because you're leaving with that terrible taste in your mouth.
But if you ate 8 of those shits already and you got the one on the ninth, you'd be mad.
Yeah, because it's like it ruins the meal. Like it's the meal cap that's supposed to be the best bite. I try to save my best bite for my last bite.
Yeah.
And like it's the exact opposite. But I hear you because then you're tentative to eat the rest of the nuggets if it's on your first one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you're like, oh man, what if the rest of them are like this?
That's what I'm saying. It could happen again, and it's like I don't even. You get scared of eating the rest of your chicken nuggets, so then I start to think about the chickens that like got killed, and it takes me down a weird rabbit hole of like.
You can't think of the food as what it is, like because whenever you start to do that, you just won't be hungry anymore.
I know.
You can't think of like, oh, that's what this is. It's like, no, you can't do that, man.
Ugh.
So, so did you watch The Irishman or no?
I legit have put it on 6 or 7 different times. I think I've watched it. I think it's like 3.5 hours. I probably watched a total of an hour and 20 minutes. Okay. But it has played through on my TV while I've been sleeping through it. So,
okay. So obviously you're not too impressed because you can't get through it.
Yeah, it doesn't really do it for me.
Yeah.
Are you like raving over it?
I'm not raving over it, but I do think it's good, and I think that people are ODing in the other direction where everybody's like, it's so bad, it's not that good. I actually liked it. Because
I thought it was good.
It's like a contemplative movie. It's not, if they were expecting like a crazy over-the-top movie, it's not that. It's very like, it's a contemplative, thoughtful movie. But if you've seen, as far as you've seen, what did you think of the de-aging thing?
It didn't bother me. I thought it was actually pretty good.
That's
like,
what I thought too, man. Yeah. I've spoken to a couple people who were like, nah, I didn't like that. Like, it was obvious or whatever. I was like, actually, it looked really good to me. Like, it was so good that it didn't even occur to me watching it that that's what it was. I just thought they had, like, a next-level, unbelievable makeup artist.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, there was nothing even, like, when Benjamin Button came out, I was like, I wasn't blown away. Like, I wasn't, this is terrible. I can't believe that Brad Pitt looks this old or whatever. I was like, he looks like an old-ass man.
I've never seen Benjamin Button, but I'd imagine...
That's another long one, too, that, like, would probably take a while.
Yeah, when you ask me to do... Like, what's the line in terms of time for a movie where you're like, you know what, man, screw you a little bit?
3.5 hours is a long fucking time.
That's way over the line. That's not even close to the line. That's way past the line in terms of, like, you're asking for a lot.
I think when I see... like 112 minutes. So what's that? That's an hour and like a half-ish, an hour to like...
Well, 2 hours. It's 60 minutes is an hour. So
yeah, 90 is an hour and a half. Right.
Right. So an hour 120 minutes is 2 hours. So you're saying...
so a little less than that.
Yeah, you're saying that's when you tap out.
Yeah.
See, for me, anything over like 2 hours and 15 minutes, I'm like, okay, now you're being a little obnoxious. But even if you clock in at like 2:05, that's all right. I can see you wanting 2 hours to tell me a good story.
It also depends, too. There's some movies where I'm like just so into it where like the time doesn't even matter. I'm just flowing along with it.
Yeah, but like it's a big gamble, though, because if you're doing that long and you might be a total miss.
Yeah.
Nah, not good. But The Irishman, to go back to The Irishman, the de-aging thing I thought was really good, actually.
I agree.
And the movie I liked, I don't want to do too much of a spoiler here, but like...
People should have watched that shit by now. You could fucking spoil it.
Well, yeah, I was just going to say that Martin Scorsese, his whole career has been accused of like glorifying the gangster lifestyle with all of his like top-notch gangster movies, but you will not mistake this movie for glorifying the gangster lifestyle at all, because it does the exact opposite.
Why, but just... all the killings?
Well, yeah, you haven't seen the ending, so you don't know why I'm saying this. It's just his
relationship with like his family and stuff, right? And him trying to mend it.
It's more than that, but I can't say it because I don't want to ruin it for you. But it's utterly apparent at the end, like he's gonna die, like old, alone.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about him. Nobody loves him. His whole life, he's made a series of like horrendous, bad decisions, and he's just like a victim of the circumstance. So you can't, like, it's the opposite of glorifying the gangster lifestyle. If anything, it's like a PSA of like, nobody get into the gangster lifestyle because this is what happens to you.
Yeah, I feel like Scorsese or whatever, he's that good of a director. He should have known, that everyone was going to be watching it, that he should have just made it some quick hot shit. It was
Nah,
almost like,
I disagree because
oh, you
this
think
is.
you like Long Way?
I think that what'll happen with this movie is that over time, you'll start looking back at it and be like, that actually wasn't bad. Immediately, people could walk out of the theater and be like, that was whack, I didn't like it. But it's one of those movies where when you revisit it later, you're like, actually, you know what? Maybe I missed something. And what Martin Scorsese said, I heard him say it in an interview, and I thought it was interesting, is that like he likes movies where if you go back and watch it, you could always pick up on something new. And this is one of those movies, I get that feeling that if I were to go back and watch it in a year or 2 years or 3 years or whatever, I'd pick up on a lot of things that I didn't get the first time, and that would, make the plot have that many more layers to it. It's a thoughtful movie. It's a contemplative movie, and I think that that's what he's going for. So he's going for something that's a little more, it has longevity. It's not like a quick type thing. That's not his style. He's like an old school director.
The only thing I sort of got the point in the movie. There was just so many times where I kept watching and they'd put the notes on the guy's head and be like, this guy died, 8 shots. And that was like the theme of the movie. It's just like, next guy died, 8 shots. Like, and then just like, it was the same thing over and over again, where it's like they could have chopped out 4 of those people and made it like an hour less. I just,
I mean, over 3 hours is a big investment. That's definitely true. But Casino was insanely long, and everybody recognizes that now as like a, legendary movie,
I started, while the movie was going on, I was looking up sort of the story of like Jimmy Hoffa and stuff like that, which is like sort of fascinating within itself. I mean, like the guy was the head of like the Teamsters, which I guess is still a thing because all the presidential candidates were just vying
it's
for
a
their
union.
votes.
Teamsters is a union. And Jimmy Hoffa, Jimmy Hoffa was the head of the union. The unions at the time were super corrupt also and part of like the mafia. There were a lot of people in the mafia, like the mafia kind of ran some of the unions.
Yeah.
And he was killed and nobody knows where the hell he was buried or what happened to his body.
Yeah.
To this day, people don't know.
Well, Jim Carrey found him in Bruce Almighty.
Oh, yeah. I remember that. I remember Bruce Almighty. But what I found interesting in The Irishman was their conspiracy theory about JFK.
Well, yeah, what was their
so
theory
the conspiracy was JFK, in order to get elected in the states where he needed to win, basically the unions rigged the election and,
to help him.
Rigged the election to help get JFK in power. And the unions had the power to do that. But
didn't Hoffa not like JFK?
Later on, I don't think he liked him. Or I don't know. I don't remember if he liked him earlier on or not. But whatever, that's beside the point. Mm-hmm. Basically, they rigged the election to get JFK elected. We got to remember, guys, JFK's dad was a famous bootlegger. So he was connected. He was in the mob. He sold alcohol during Prohibition. So he was massively wealthy as a result of that. So JFK ran for president. The unions helped him get elected by rigging the elections in those states and like intimidating people trying to come to the polls to vote for the other candidates. And then the payback was JFK when he was president was supposed to overthrow Fidel Castro so that the mob can get into the casino business in Cuba and make a lot of money that way. And then when they didn't overthrow Fidel, the mafia killed JFK for not carrying out the promise. That's the conspiracy. And I was watching it in The Irishman, and I'm like, the dots connect.
That does make sense.
Like, that's a sound theory. Like, the mafia would want to get into the casino business in Cuba, and they would want to get, Fidel out of there because he, of course, was not going to allow the mob to make all the money exploding.
Why would they be interested in going to Cuba? Like,
it used to be a lot of people don't know this, but Cuba used to be a vacation spot for all like the rich people in the U.S.
Oh, really?
Yeah, there was a dictator. Is his name Batista? Cuban dictator Batista. Yeah. So there was this guy.
WWF wrestler.
What's that? Not
the WWF
no, not the
wrestler.
wrestler. He's actually a Bernie supporter. So
Is he?
put some respect on my boy's name. Yeah.
That's what's up. I saw he went to Arizona State, I think. I was like walking through their Hall of Fames.
Fulgencio Batista. He was a Cuban military officer who became the dictator of Cuba from 1940 to 44, and that's when he was president, and then he was the U.S.-backed dictator from 1952 to 1959. So in that time frame, Cuba was like a big vacation spot for rich people in the U.S., and it was like our puppet state, basically. And they had casinos there and all that stuff, and U.S. industry and whatnot. And then when they had the Cuban Revolution, Fidel Castro kicked him out because, obviously Batista's corrupt and he's a dictator, and he was letting the U.S. exploit the region. And so Fidel Castro kicked him out, and we lost it as this big vacation spot. So that's one of the reasons why the U.S. was trying so hard to overthrow Fidel Castro for so long.
Huh.
Is that he was getting in the way of U.S. business interests.
It's so wild how corrupt we've been for so long, man. I think Las Vegas was super corrupt.
OD, it was built with all mob money, of course.
Yeah.
I mean, Miami. Have you ever? You got to watch that documentary, Corin.
Which one is that?
Documentary.
That's why it's so crazy to see. I keep harping back to Bernie Sanders, but it's so rare to see someone who and I don't know, maybe we're all being fooled, but he genuinely is just against the system and is really fighting hard. So I'm surprised no one's ever put a hit out on him or something like that.
What the hell? Why can't I find the name of this? You got to see this documentary, Cora. I'll figure it out after. Put it in the comment section for those of you who are listening to this. Because the producer of it went on Joe Rogan's show. And
really?
Because Rogan loved the documentary so much, he brought him on the show. And basically what this documentary shows is that, dude, all of Miami was built because of drug money.
Huh. I believe it.
There was a time when Miami had more banks than any other city in the country because you had all these drug kingpins who needed a place to put the money.
Oh my god!
And so it was such a good documentary, and it takes you through the creation of Miami in the '80s when everybody was high as balls there, and just all the fight. There was a time when there was gang violence in the street, dude, where it was a war in the street because of the rival gangs in Miami, all these cocaine-connected gangs. I'm blanking on the name right now, but you guys, for those, just put it in the comment section, guys, because I'm sure one of you is going to remember this.
But it was pretty good?
Yeah, the director-producer guy was on Rogan's show, and he was talking about it. And it was so good, Cora. I remember watching that documentary just being wow, I did not know all of this.
Yeah, I'm going to look at that. And then it'll make me, even when I go down to Miami now, I'm still some dude who was probably on so much coke built this building, and every building has every neon light under the sun under it. So it's someone who was just whacked out of their mind, built this.
Cocaine Cowboys. Cocaine Cowboys is the name of it.
I'm gonna actually try and watch that.
OD, you gotta watch it, man. Yeah. It came out in 2006.
Because it's it was just a Wild West, but they were all on cocaine.
Kind of, yeah. The whole place, it was there was nothing there. It wasn't a big city, and it became this giant city. It's weird when you see the history of how places develop. It's whoa, there's actually a logical explanation. Because guys like you and me, we travel around, we just kind of naively think well, this has always been here. What do you mean?
Yeah.
I went to Phoenix. Phoenix is just there. It is what it is. It's well, no, there's actually a backstory there. California, the gold rush, the whole reason why California was so populated is because people were going there trying to strike gold, looking for gold, because there was news that there was a lot of gold in California. So if you find it and you get rich, and you had all these people going out there.
Someone should just start a rumor that there's just they found mad gold in Iowa or something like that, and just see all these fucking people move to Iowa.
There are some city. I don't know if Iowa is one of them. There's some states and cities that are really growing fast now in the U.S.
Oh, yeah, there's plenty. Denver.
Fast-growing cities in the U.S.
Every time I go to a different city, everyone I talk to at a bar or something like that is you won't believe how many people are moving here now, man. It's crazy. I'm just yeah, I hear that everywhere I fucking go. Austin's becoming like that.
Yeah, Austin's been like that for a while. Population boom in the West and South. New York and Los Angeles are the most populous metro areas in the nation. Blah blah blah.
A lot of people are leaving Chicago. I think Chicago's like the number one place that people are leaving.
Well, I don't get like, why would anybody choose to be in a place where it's like fucking cold as fuck?
That's what I'm saying.
All the time.
We're like NBA free agents, and we have the opportunity to go to like any place. Of course, you're gonna choose like Miami, like California.
I think
Texas.
the way it works is like if you've lived in a place where it's been mad hot your whole life, you want to leave. Like you want to go to a colder place in the winter because you're just tired of the heat all the time.
Yeah.
But then if you're like us, where we've always experienced cold winters, we're like, damn, wouldn't it be dope if we were in like Southern California or Arizona or Florida?
Yeah. I can't imagine what it would be like. I've seen in California people get cars made out of like fucking felt and shit just because it never rains there. Like I saw like a Mercedes truck and a dude made it out of like some like carpet material because it just never rains.
Yeah, it's super rare that it rains. There's like a desert. I was looking at that the other night. I was looking at a map of like a climate map of the U.S.
Mm-hmm.
and looking at like what's interesting is it's not what everybody would think, which is like, oh, obviously just the further south you go, the hotter it gets, the further north you go, the colder it gets. There's actually a lot of like variations. That's not the only thing that goes into it. A lot like the jet stream plays a role in it. Like there's a lot that goes into it. I was surprised to learn that like New York City, like our latitude is the same as like Rome in Italy, but there it's a lot hotter there. You know what I mean? Like their temperature is warmer than ours. So it's like there's other things that go into.
What do you mean it's the same? Like we're aligned?
Like
on
the same line.
Part?
Let me look this up because I don't want to botch the facts because we got a bunch of people listening to us.
We've probably botched so many facts.
Yeah, but I try to be honest when I'm like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
I couldn't get the fucking electric slide. You think we're gonna figure out the same latitude that Rome is with New York?
Okay, so let's see.
Oh, it's actually behind your head.
Rome is further north than New York City.
So I see New York. If you
New York City is the same latitude as Naples, Italy.
Okay, so I see France.
You're not gonna be able to see Rome because all you're gonna see is Italy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Rome is further north, and if you've ever seen a picture of Rome, it looks more like Tucson, Arizona, or something.
Really?
It's a little more deserty there. Like the look of it is like warmer Mediterranean. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I know that.
But they're
look,
further
that
north
vibe.
than us.
Huh.
Like that blows your mind, right? Because you think, wait, if we're further south, then why aren't we warmer?
Yeah, and then I automatically think like, well, how far north? Because Canada is right there, and it's not like it's some deserty looking shit.
Well, again, but that's because the thing that goes into your climate is more than just how far you are from the equator.
Yeah.
That plays a role, how far you are from the equator, but there's a lot of other stuff that goes into it. That's why when you look at a map of the U.S., you see like, you know, some areas are deserty, some areas are like, you have like a tropical climate in southern Florida. You have a desert climate in Phoenix and Southern California and Arizona. Well, Phoenix is Arizona.
Yeah.
Is in Arizona, I should say. Yeah, and then you have, it varies massively.
Is Italy still like underwater?
I mean, parts of it. Naples is going to have they're already having serious issues, but I'm sure they're going to, I don't see how they could stay there.
Yeah, I feel like that hasn't, and granted, I haven't watched the news that much, but I feel like that should be like the number one news story everywhere.
I mean, bro, Louisiana, there's parts of Louisiana. New Orleans is underwater. They're under sea level.
Yeah.
I heard that if you stand in certain streets in New Orleans, you could look up at the water because there's a seawall, but you're looking up at the water.
There's a bridge to like get into Louisiana that I've driven over that the water just looks like it's next to you. It's absurd. Like, and they have these poles in there that you can see where the water has risen to on it.
Oh.
And I'm driving and I'm like, if it went back to that shit, I'd be underwater right now.
And it's gonna happen. Like that's why I said I never understood anybody who wants to like buy property on the water. It's like, yo, you're on borrowed time. Like, do you not get that?
Yep. Chicago, the water is rising so high right now. Like Justin's school, Northwestern, they have like a building that is legit right on the water, and it's all glass like glass windows and shit, they have this one barrier thing for the water to like that comes up to like block it.
I'm looking at it right now.
Do you see it on the water?
Yep. Literally right there.
It's right there, dude, and it's like in 4 years maybe. Like that building is going to be getting smacked with water. It's crazy.
Wait, what body of water is it on?
That's Lake Michigan.
Oh, that's Lake Michigan. Lakes are a little different. That's not going to rise.
But it has been though. I think like there's been less and less beach every single year.
But it's not. It's a lake. It's not like there are icebergs melting in it somewhere.
But my bath water goes in there probably.
You're saying from rain? Yeah, I mean, I guess if it rains a lot, but still,
I don't know like how water rises and shit.
It ain't
like
gonna
that,
happen.
right?
I'd rather have waterfront property on a lake than on a frickin' on the ocean. That to me is crazy. You're rolling the dice, OD, because even an earthquake that happens out there and then a tsunami, like it's just donezo. Your property's gone.
Yeah.
Never mind your life, risking your life in many instances, depending on where you put it.
I think there was a TV show on like Home Network or something like that of people that were buying like waterfront houses for mad money.
And that's the other thing is that it's mad expensive too to get property on the water. It's like, okay, well, you guys are paying mad money to then eventually have your shit ruined. Like if you get waterfront property in Florida, first of all, you're at sea level already, so it's going to be gone in who knows how long, but it'll be gone at some point. But beyond that, like TikTok, and within 5 years, you're going to get cracked by a Category 5 hurricane and just a wrap.
That's a really good point. Like the waterfront property should be the cheapest. That should be the ones that nobody wants to. It's called
and did you know that like insurance companies refuse to even insure those because they know that they're OD on borrowed time. So what happens is the government had to set up a program to insure the houses that are on the water. And the only reason that program exists is because most of the people who live on the water are rich and they control the government, so they can get a program to reimburse them if something happens.
Yeah, isn't that so wild? I hate when rich people get like that bailout card too. Like I saw it was a tweet with Bethany Frankel or some shit like that.
Yeah. She was complaining about like an Uber ride or something.
Like it was like,
yo, you're worth like how many millions?
Well, it was like the Uber driver won't let my daughter play her fucking fiddle or some shit in the car, and I'll be like, bitch, if I was your Uber driver, I would have thrown that shit out the fucking window. Like if she tried to play that shit.
That's like in a show where you'll see a kid doing a mad annoying thing, and the whole point is that the kid's supposed to be mad annoying. Like that's what that like your kid's playing a fiddle in the Uber.
It was like some weird, like it was like a ukulele or something fucking
that's even
weird.
Worse.
And I was like, props to that Uber driver. Like that dude should get a permanent 5 stars on his shit.
Because he's probably like on his 5th hour driving of the day and dealing with people's nonsense and traffic, and then in steps this like multi-millionaire, and she's like, "Do you mind if my daughter annoys the shit out of you for 30 minutes?"
We gotta take her to her ukulele class. We'll fucking Uber there. I sort of got mad respect for people that are just not fascinated or not. They don't care at all for celebrities or stars or anything.
Well, yeah. Because, I mean, there's plenty of people like that.
I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like that Uber driver, she definitely got in the car and wanted him to be like, "Oh, you're Bethany Frankel, the one."
Yeah, she definitely strikes me as after learning about that tweet, it's like you're definitely the kind of person who looks for people to know you.
Oh, D looks for people to. You know who does that shit a little bit, and I'll call him on his shit.
Who?
I think Jenk was looking for that shit when we went to LA to have dinner. And he sat like on the outside and was like hoping people saw him and shit. I was like, yo, relax a little bit, bro. But he's a good dude. I don't want to shit on him too much. But I think he was looking for that a little bit. But don't get me wrong. If I ever got to that point too, I'd be sitting like on the fucking patio of Applebee's waiting for people to come by and say some shit to me.
I'm always surprised when anybody knows me. And I still like default think it's because maybe they went to high school with us or something.
Yeah, I don't know why, because I always tell mad people, I'm like, yo, if you were to just like walk around New York City or something like that, like just take the train down randomly and just walk around, there'd be mad people that would be like, holy shit, But you're right. You'd be like, oh, we went to Neuro or some shit. They'd be like, no, I'm from Kentucky.
Exactly. Yeah. But Bethany Frankel's annoying as hell, man. Don't do that.
Fuck her. And mad respect to that Uber driver, man.
I'm one of those people who, like, I don't even judge like, I'll tip banging no matter what.
Yeah.
Like, even if my service is trash, I'll be like, don't care. You're living off tips. I'm tipping you decently.
That's something what's up on your part, because sometimes people fuck up OD as waiters, or like people who are supposed to be in like the service industry.
I don't care. I feel like they're undervalued and they just deserve a tip. Anytime. See, here's the thing. As long, and I've said this before, as long as it's an industry where I know I'm supposed to tip, I'm tipping good. But the thing that gets me is when I don't know if you can tip. Like, I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Like, there are industries where it's like, it's like, it's up in the air. Like, oh, do you tip at these or do you not tip at these? And those ones, I don't know what to do. And I have like a mini panic attack. Because I never want anybody to think like, oh, he didn't even tip me. Because if I never tipped you, I didn't know that I was supposed to tip in that situation at all. Like, I thought like it wasn't a tip thing. You know what I'm saying?
And then there's times where it's like, if you're not supposed to tip and you're handing someone money, they're almost just like, well, I make plenty of money, dude. What the fuck are you doing?
Exactly. So that's why it's a tough one. As long as I know that it's a tipping situation, I'm going in.
Yeah. No, I give you props on that a lot. You're generous in your tipping. And I feel like I always do 20% also. But sometimes, like, if they're fucking up OD, maybe I'll drop it down to like 16% or something like that.
Literally everybody but me does that. Like, that's across the board. You have nothing to feel weird about. Well, that's just...
Because sometimes I'm like, why'd you even sign up for this shit then? Like, go home, pack it in.
Yeah, I just have a hard rule. My hard rule is the absolute minimum I tip is 20%.
Yeah.
Now, I will adjust accordingly from there. So if I get banging service, then maybe you're getting 30.
Yeah.
But 20 is the floor. You're not getting below 20.
It's sort of weird. Whoever, like, hopefully that wasn't some propaganda shit that started in the U.S. because you go overseas to Europe or some shit like that, they don't tip at all. So if you hit them with anything at the meal, the waiter and waitress is like, OD fuck with you if you're from U.S. Like, people say that they don't fuck with you when you're from the U.S., but a lot of the times they do because they think they're going to get a tip because that's all we've known. Whereas if you conform to the European mindset when you're an American,
so they have it built into the bill, right? They have the tip like built into the bill, or they're just paid a living wage to begin with.
I think it's that.
Yeah,
I think
they're probably just paid. Some restaurants do that now in the U.S. too, where they're like, I'm just going to pay a living wage up front. And props to them because that's what's up. Like, you should remove the whole... And you could even, in that situation, it's even, like, you could even put signs like, you don't tip because they're fully compensated. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Sometimes I get a little mad that, like, parties of six, they'll be like, the tip's already been added on your shit. I'm like, semi-fuck you for that.
Well, yeah, those are weird because then I feel like, well, hold on. You added the tip on, but what percentage did you do?
Yeah.
Like, I didn't... Like, I know what my rules are. What did you put as the percentage?
Yeah.
You know?
And sometimes that'll hurt them, too, because someone in your case, sometimes they only do it like 18% or something like that.
Exactly.
I got these random burps coming up. That, like, you might bless them with some other shit, but you're like, can I tip on top of the tip? Is that weird?
Yeah, then it gets weird. Don't leave me in a gray area, man. That's my rules. Like, you can't leave me in a gray area. You can't leave me thinking, like, do I tip?
Yes.
You can't leave me thinking that.
Yeah, but yeah, when you go to Europe, they don't tip at all, and I think people that haven't been to Europe will be like, oh, they hate Americans over there, but I don't think Americans are really hated too much overseas as people think.
I wouldn't know because I haven't traveled overseas, but I wouldn't be surprised in some, like, definitely in France. I get the vibe more in France that they'll be like, fuck you. Yeah,
they just have a fuck you attitude about them, French people.
Yeah, but also, like, there's a lot of shit that they look at America like, yo, you're evil. When it, like, climate change, where we just pulled out of the Paris Climate Agreement, the war in Iraq, where we, like, renamed French fries Freedom Fries. Like, we're mad obnoxious, and then they were just like, all right, well, then we're permanently going to be obnoxious back.
But I feel like French people, British people, German people, all just, like, fucking white people have, like, this, like, stuck up, like, don't come to my country and be you type of shit. Whereas, like, if you go to, like, Colombia or DR or, like, I don't know, like fucking Bahamas or some shit, they just fuck with you. Like,
I've never been anywhere. I'm always surprised at how nice people are when I travel anywhere.
Oh yeah.
Like, that's always been my thing, is like, especially when I went to the South, I was just like, yo.
Crazy.
Yeah. I told the story. I was like, are are they fucking with me? Like it was like that. It was on some like that level.
Yeah, people are mad welcoming. Like whereas like
so warm and welcoming.
We've had our guard up so much that you go somewhere in the South. Like I was in Mississippi, and dude had a conversation with me on the highway. I swear to God, he was like in some convertible, and he was like, "Oh, roll down the window." I rolled down the window. We were having a fucking conversation on the highway. It was insane. He was like, "Welcome to Mississippi, man." I was like, "Thank you." He was like, "Not hitting on you, but you want to come to the football game with me?"
Are you serious?
I swear to God.
Oh, he was hitting on you. He wanted that D, son.
No, I don't know.
Nobody does that.
Nah, but just people are just mad friendly, like sir, ma'am, hold the door type of shit. Like legit, I feel like if you were in Alabama or some shit and you were stranded, someone would be like, you could come to my house and, take a shower.
No, that's the thing. And you know what the operative factor is with stuff like that sometimes? It's what the population is of the place where they live. Because when you live in a place where there's not that many people, they all band together and help each other.
Definitely.
And like if you go to the grocery store, the person behind the counter is going to be like, oh, hey, and they'll know your name and they'll talk to you and they'll ask how you're doing and how the kids are and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like especially like if you live in like Alaska or something where it's just cold all the time and it's like it's just a harsher environment, and then the people just know like I might need help one day. I'm going to be like OD nice to everybody and they're going to be nice to me. Yes. And they just look out for each other. Whereas in cities, we're very like segmented and fractured and like away and in our own little world.
In and out, don't talk to me type of shit.
Yeah, like I talk more to you and my friend who lives in London and my other friend who lives like 30 minutes away from me. Like I talk to you guys more than I talk to like anybody. It's one of those things where it's not the distance doesn't get in the way of the friendship. And it's not like because some people live close to me, therefore I'm friends with them. You know what I mean? Whereas in a place like that, it's the proximity to you that like defines the friendships type stuff.
Yeah. Which is weird because I feel like if you're around them so much in that village, you would almost take that shit for granted, whereas they don't. They like do fucking community events and shit like that and like weird shit probably at their church. And
yeah, but that's Semi, what's up? Because you and I know, like we've spoken about it before, like we wish we could get a weekly basketball game, weekly poker game.
Yep.
Like that's definitely been a thought of mine. Like, damn, wouldn't it be great if just like every Friday we had this? Every time, no matter what, we had enough people, and it was just automatic.
Yeah.
But you don't have that anymore because everybody's so... It's a new age, it's a new era, and everybody's just off in their own little world, in their own little digital, technological world. And it's like, you just can't get somebody... Like, why would somebody want to go to somebody's house? Like, I'm going to go to your house and play poker? What? Why? Yeah. Like, that's how they would think about it.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I don't know. There's just so much more fucking friendly people.
Yeah, that's true. So anyway, we'll wrap it up on the Nick Cannon and Eminem thing.
Oh, yeah. I didn't do too much research into that shit. I've just seen people talking about it. Oh, damn. I got to give a couple shout-outs before we get off the air.
Go for it.
Mad people fucking... Hold on. Well, first off, Nick Cannon... is sort of making if he does he still go out with Mariah Carey? Is he married to her?
I think so. I think they still go out, but I don't know.
Well, he is just making it so Mariah wants to fuck Eminem way more now by even just playing like by feeding into Eminem. Mariah's like, you're like, what are you doing, Nick? Stop. Like you're going at the GOAT. And everybody that attacks Eminem just gets the wrath.
I can't believe he thought it'd be a good idea. Like, don't you understand that you can't beat him because even if you come with some fire, people are not going to admit that it's fire. They're going to be like, that's not even, no, you're going at the GOAT. Like you said, it's like trying to have the debate with anybody versus Jordan. Jordan is going to get a majority no matter what.
Yes.
It doesn't matter who else you bring up and what your arguments are. Even if you bring up LeBron, the most he's getting is like 40% and Jordan's getting 60%. Like, that's the closest you're getting. So why would you do that? You're going into a battle you know you're going to lose. It's like the Democrats with impeachment. It's like, congratulations, you're all going to be really happy when it gets through the House of Representatives, and everybody's going to act like, see, ho, 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 we did it. And then it's going to die in the Senate, and you're going to be like, oh. It's like, you know you're going to, why are you doing this? You know you're going to lose.
And then it just props Eminem up even more than he already was. So, like, it built Trump up. And like Eminem will just let it sit for a little bit. He'll let people like, say he's the GOAT and like his name builds up.
I think he'll respond quick like he did with Machine Gun Kelly.
The only time where he might have took an L, and I don't know what your thoughts on this, is when he tried to go after Trump a little bit. And it was like sort of stay in your lane.
Yeah, because it was just whack. Like it was just like
he was just awkward.
And he was freestyling. There was no music, and people were just standing there looking at him, and he was like yelling. And I'm like, yo, why are you yelling, bro?
He's just in a parking lot with his weird little hat on, shit, and like sort of people were like,
yeah, it's like you didn't package this properly, man.
Yeah, but I think he's gonna come with some heat for Nick Kelly. Nick Kelly,
the person who we're now calling Nick Kelly.
R. Kelly and Nick Cannon had a baby. I will low-key say, I don't watch it too much anymore, but I sort of fucked with Wildin' Out for a little bit.
Yeah, back when it first came out, I did. But then, like, I tried to watch it semi-recently. When I say that, I mean, like, 3 years ago or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is terrible. Like, they're so fake and it's so planned. Like, they definitely wrote stuff out, and they're acting like they didn't write stuff out. And I'm like, yo. And then the audience pretends to be too into it.
Yeah.
Where it's like, that's not your genuine reaction. You're just going over the top.
Like, if you're all about the Me Too movement and shit like that, like, go after that show.
Why? What did they do?
They'll just prance out like some chick with an OD fat ass, and Nick will just be like, like, just shit that you're like, that's still allowed?
Well, we were also saying about Nick that, like, he's going through some weird stuff. Like, he went through a whole, like, Black Power moment where he was trying to act like he was the next Malcolm X.
And then he wore a turban for a hot minute.
I think he's still maybe rocking the turban. And you said he might be on some Black Israelite stuff, right?
Yeah, I think he's on some Israeli shit now. You can't just hop around. Like, do the exploring on your own time, but don't, like, be out in public wearing a turban.
Corin, doesn't this get back to one of my rules that I've had for a hot minute, which is, like, you got to accept your box. Like, I've said this for a hot minute. This goes back. We had a conversation on Kyle and Corin way back in the day when Iman Shumpert was still on the Knicks, and he was trying to rap. And we had a conversation, and I was like, no, you can't. You're Iman Shumpert, the basketball player. No, it's not going to work. You can't do it. You're in a box. Your box is the basketball player. Whether or not you want to be known as that dude, you're known as that dude. Like, that's it. It's over. That's your box. Now, I know that like, some people are uncomfortable with that, but it doesn't matter how you feel about it. That's just what it is. That's how everybody perceives you. So, when it comes to Nick Cannon, dog, sorry, but you're the Nickelodeon dude. Like, you're never going to not be the Nickelodeon dude. And just like Eminem is never going to not be a rapper because he's always been the rapper, that's how it is. I'm never going to not be the politics guy. It doesn't matter. No matter what I do, from now until I die, I'm never going to not be the politics dude. It is what it is. Some people are uncomfortable with being in the box. Some people fully embrace being in the box. But you're in the box. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, even if you're like on some next level shit, like that, like Dame Lillard is a really great rapper, but as bad as he wants to be a rapper, he's still Dame Lillard, just the Portland Trailblazers dude. When
you say to somebody Damian Lillard, immediately they think, oh, the basketball player,
the nasty point guard.
That's it. That's it. That's what you are, dog. It is what it is. Now the only like caveat to that is like in a situation where you've been out of one thing for so long, and then you've slowly moved into a new mold. So, like, Charles Barkley and Shaq, like, they're also the commentator now.
Yes, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that was one of those things where it's like Rome wasn't built in a day, man. It was a long transition from, like, basketball player, nothing, vaguely basketball player, now you're a commentator, a little bit, commentator, and then eventually it was like, all right, you're a commentator.
Whereas, like, if you ask some kids now, they're like Charles Barkley, and they're like, oh, it's the dude from TNT.
Yep.
Like, they wouldn't even know that he was a nasty basketball player.
And that's when you've made the transition. Yeah. I don't know of anybody except maybe Joe Rogan, but most people, 99% of people cannot pull off the double, like, no, I do these things. Like, no, you don't. No, you don't. You do that one thing. Yeah. Joe got it because he's a comedian but a podcaster, and he was on the reality TV shows. Like, and his trick was, it was all at once. Like, it was all like he hit you with it up front so that you couldn't box him in up front. It was like, no. Yeah, I'm on the show, but I've also been doing stand up. Where you been? Like, the mistake people make is they'll do one thing, and then after a hot minute, they're like, oh, I'm going to try to do this other thing. It's like, nope. If you had done that one from early on too, then maybe we'd give you the grace period where you're both of those things, but you try to do it after a hot minute. Sorry. Yeah. You're pigeonholed.
Like you had the pedigree already, and now because you have that pedigree, now you're trying to use your platform to do the other shit. Like, nah.
Dog, it's like
when... I needed to see that authenticity, like, when you were younger.
It's like when Jordan tried to become a baseball player.
Yeah.
Like, what? What? The greatest basketball player all time in the middle of his damn career was like, I'm going to go play baseball now. Yeah, the entire world all at once collectively went, fuck you, bro. What are you talking about? You play baseball. You're the best basketball player of all time. What are you talking about?
I'm surprised he isn't. I mean, he takes heat for that shit, but that is super random. You're right. It's just like, I'm going to stop playing basketball in my prime. Like, and I'm going to go
ridiculous. In your prime? What are you doing?
Yeah.
I mean, on the one hand, you got to respect it because it's just so over the top. Like, it's so obnoxious. But then on the other hand, it's like you want to like look him eye to eye and be like, dog, you're not going to shake your persona. You're Michael Jordan, the basketball player.
Yeah. Yeah. And it just, there's old videos of like him in, I don't know if, I think he might have went to the All-Star game or something, but like he was sitting down in his locker and like Ken Griffey Jr. was next to him or something. And it just made Jordan look like superior to Ken Griffey Jr. when Jordan is supposed to just be looking at Ken Griffey on some like, I'm Jordan shit.
But you're saying it made Ken Griffey look at Jordan like Ken Griffey's superior.
Looking at Jordan, yeah, when you were in the baseball shit.
Yeah, because he is. In that realm, he is.
Yeah.
In that realm, he is. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's weird, man, because you don't want to box yourself into that shit, but sometimes you just get boxed into that shit.
But there's nothing. See, that's the thing, and that's why it's not as like negative a message as people think, because there's nothing wrong with being like really good at that one thing. You know, most people go their entire lives without really honing a craft on even one thing. So if you can get really good at just one thing, that's huge, man. That's amazing.
Yeah.
You know, how many people do you know? People are lucky if they have one really big hobby in their lives. Lucky if they're in that situation. So what we're talking about is these people who like they want to have like 2 or 3 like really next level hobbies that they're obsessed with. That's not the way it works, man. It's not the way it works. You can't really pull that off, or that's one of the hardest things to pull off. People are lucky to even have one thing that they care enough where they're putting in the time and putting in the effort.
If you're like a really good chef and you ask them all, like, do you know how to change a tire or do anything with the car? They're like, oh, no, that's not my area of expertise.
Exactly.
And if they did, you'd be like, something's weird about that dude. He knows how to do too much. Like, I love my brother, and everybody loves my brother, but he knows how to do a lot of shit. And he's just a great human being. But nobody should know how to do more than like 4 things really good, you know? Like, you can't do jiu-jitsu. You can't know how to cook. I mean, you can't dance.
That's so foreign to me, like being a well-rounded human being. I'm like, how do you do that? What do you mean?
That's what I'm saying. Like, well-rounded human beings are very far and few between, or whatever the fuck that shit is.
That's close enough.
It's like, yeah, like that's why when Eminem spoke about Trump, like even just him saying the word Trump, it's like, nah, dog. Like,
see, that's the thing, is you just nailed it right there. Is that he tried to do a slight little crossover, like he dipped his toe in the water of like, could I be on some like activist political shit? And everybody was like,
hell the fuck no,
nah, bro,
hell the fuck no. Like, if you're gonna do that shit, do it in front. Like, make a video in front of the White House. Like, make the setting. Like, don't try to do it in your like Detroit parking garage shit with your boys behind you, because you know they're like, that shit whack as fuck, dog. He said Trump.
The only way he could have done something where it would have been like, all right, is if he had just released a dope song and there was like just like a 1 or 2 throwaway lines that were low key on point about Trump. Like, that's how he could have done it. But the way he did
directed the whole shit at him, right?
He did the whole shit was at him, and he was just like screaming, like pretending like he's freestyling, but he's not freestyling. He definitely planned it all out, but like screaming with no music behind him, with everybody just grilling the camera and him like breathing heavy. And it's like,
why would Nick Cannon like? He's got to just be trying to stay relevant to come at Eminem.
Let me tell you something, man. It's bad. His song is terrible. It's like he's trying way too hard, and he's trying so hard to be like a gangster. It's like, no, you can't, like...
Well, that's been his whole thing his whole life, is like, people, like, he went to Arizona State, I think, and he was brought up in a great area. Like, he's not that gangster rapper. And that's why people always clown him. Like, you're Nick Cannon from Drumline, you're Nick Cannon from Nickelodeon. Stop, like, what this wilding out shit is even crossing the line.
Why is he so uncomfortable with that? Like, you know who I respect OD? Will Smith. Because Will Smith sort of, like, he was like, back in the day when he was getting #1 hits, he was like, I don't curse.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody's like, what? You're a rapper and you don't curse? He's like, that's right.
Yeah.
And he just kind of rolled with that. And it's just like, he was comfortable in his own skin. Whereas Nick Cannon's like running away from the Nickelodeon thing and he's overcompensating. And now, like, literally in the song, like, they're talking about killing people and stuff. And it's like, no, we don't do that. And then there's other parts in the song where, like, he goes after Eminem, basically saying, like, he's gay. It's like, whoa, nice, nice diss line from, like, 2004.
Oh,
nobody's going to hear that and be like, oh.
He's a weird one, man. He's a weird one. And yeah, Mariah. This is Mariah. Like, he's stealing Mariah's limelight right now. Like, this is Christmas time. This is when Mariah's supposed to be Mariah.
I know, right? That's when, like, on every department store in the country.
That's what. See, you can't take the headlines away from Mariah in December, bro. What are you, crazy?
She's gonna be tight about that. She's gonna be like, what are you doing?
Probably, this is my month, bro. What are you coming out of for the district? Like, wait till January. It's fucking December. This is like December should be renamed Mariah Carey Music Month or some shit.
I wouldn't be surprised if there's a Mariah Carey. You know how? Let's look at that right now before we wrap up. Let's look at the calendar with all the holidays.
All of the holidays or like today is National No Pet Day or something.
Yeah, like all the holidays.
Oh, there'd be a full calendar every day.
But that's what I want to see. Like, because you were like, oh, Mariah Carey Day, and I was about to say, like, dog, maybe there low key is a Mariah Carey Day.
Oh, there's 1,000% a Mariah Carey Day, and she's got to eat at whatever city she's from.
Oh, I can't read that one. That one's got tiny ass typing, and it's like blurry. Like, don't hit me with some non-blurry. Like, hit me with some blurry shit. Hit me with some non-blurry shit. Okay.
Yeah.
All right, hold up.
It would take 40 years if you're gonna read through every month's shit.
No. I just went to December, but again, the fucking writing is OD tiny and blurry.
Just type in Mariah Carey Day or
No. Fuck Mariah Carey Day. I want to know, like, all the weird ass things in December.
Just a couple days ago, I think was Pastry Day, National Pastry Day.
That's
I heard that one on the radio.
Though. That's sort of what's up.
Yeah, or I'd be curious what today is. Today's got to be something like National, like, smack your dog.
Okay, here we go. Ready? So this is December. It says December 2013. I don't know if they change it per year, all the weird holidays, or if they keep them the same.
Mm-hmm.
I could see some of them changing because they're not, like, nobody's married to these days, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Oh, no. Is this what I'm thinking it is or no? No, it's not. Damn it. Oh, I gotta find this core. This is gonna drive me crazy.
I'll do shout-outs while you look.
Go for it.
Casey wants me to, say hello to my mother. Shout out to Donna. Justin Jackson, you already know. Day one, shout out. I'm rooting for your next game. I don't know who you guys play, but I'm gonna check the schedule. So shout out to Justin. Joe Steele, go Ducks, or Joe Steele. Yahaya, here. Ryan Brusillo, what up? Susie, how you doing? Gibberish. Anthony Gonzalo, El Paso Strong. Oh, El Paso. I do, and I want to thank Kyle for retweeting my Bernie ad to everyone. Anthony Gonzalez? I guess you retweeted his ad.
Did you put something out on Twitter? Like, I'm going to do some shout-outs?
Yeah, I just said, anyone want a shout-out on Kyle and Corin about to record now?
Oh. Let me know when you're done because I got my holidays.
Oh, you got your shit? Okay.
You good or no?
No, there's still a lot more.
You can throw out some more if you want. It's all good.
Hoss Boss, shout out. Just wanted to say thanks for being chill house dudes with interesting conversations. Cats and Crows. You two are the only podcast I watch besides Joe Rogan. Love you guys.
That's funny because some people say, like, and it is sort of true. We are sometimes OD repetitive. Like, we'll talk about food like every show.
Yeah, but they all are. I was listening to Rogan with Michelle Wolf or whatever.
Uh-huh.
All like he's got his checkpoints too. Like he talks about comedians. He talks about like he goes through the wheel on his shit too. It's hard not to.
Yeah, that is true. You think, and the thing is, in our own minds, we're saying new stuff, but like it's just related to other stuff we've talked about, because we always talk about food. We just talk about different aspects of it, you know?
Yeah. And what the fuck? I've only been around for 31 years, so like only know so much about food. I can't talk about some shit that I didn't eat. I never eat fucking crab ragoons or whatever like that.
Crab rangoons, you still haven't had them.
I
Damn,
never
man.
had those.
We should have had them.
Antonio Ambigia Circle Nation YouTube channel, if you would. Okay. There you go. John, he just put me with mad exclamation points. How is he going to know that I'm talking about him? Joshua Zapata. Oh yeah, and he said yes, and remember my name is not Joseph. Austin.
Oh yeah, you've called him that before.
OD times.
Yeah.
OD times.
It's like when we first learned about Edward Snowden, everybody, including me, for some reason, there was like a glitch in the Matrix where everybody kept calling him Eric Snowden.
Oh, for real?
Even I did it. Mad times I was like Eric Snowden. But it wasn't. It was Edward. But like for some weird reason, so many people kept calling him Eric.
Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah. Anyway, all right, let's do these holidays and then call it a day.
Yeah.
So this was for 2019. I don't know if they change year to year, but January 1st obviously is New Year's Day.
Yeah.
Then there's January 2nd, National Science Fiction Day. There's multiple things for each day. This is nonsense.
There's too many.
No, you can't. Okay, new rule that we just came up with on this show. You could only have one thing per day. You're not allowed to make it like 3, 4, 5 things in one day. That's insane. You know what I'm saying?
Well, how are they classifying it? Because a little town in like Dixville, Virginia could make it like National Shoebox Day or something like that. And does that go on the calendar?
I don't know. This is just weird holidays in 2019, and it's holidayscalendar.com. So I'll just go through them. January 1st, New Year's Day. Also, it's National Hangover Day. Also, it's National Bloody Mary Day. January 2nd, National Science Fiction Day. National Personal Trainer Awareness Day. National Buffet Day. National Cream Puff Day.
That's all on January 1st?
That's January 2nd. January 2nd is 1, 2, 3, 4 things. That's what I'm saying. It's got to be one per thing. I'm sort of tight now that I know that there's multiple things in one thing.
Test this. Can you go to December?
I don't think so.
Oh, they don't have December?
No.
Because I was going to see if it's, because they said on the radio National Pastry Day was like a couple of days ago or something like that.
Okay. Wait. What day was National Pastry Day?
It was like last week or something like that. So.
Okay, let me see.
Type in National Pastry Day and see if like December something comes up. I'd just be curious if that was a. Damn, there's mad more.
Yeah, Monday, December 9th.
Yep, so that's a real thing.
Okay, so I did find. I was able to get to December. It was just all the way at the bottom of the page.
David Kransny.
National Spaghetti Day, January 4th. National Missouri Day, January 4th. National Trivia Day, January 4th. National Keto Day, January 5th. National Bird Day, January 5th. National Whipped Cream Day, January 5th. National Screenwriters Day, January 5th. January 6th, Bean Day.
Who's got the time to do all this shit?
National
man?
Shortbread Day, January 6th. National Technology Day, January 6th. National Cuddle Up Day, January 6th. National Bobblehead Day, January 7th.
That's my shit.
National Tempura Day, January 7th. National Thank God It's Monday Day. What? January 7th.
That probably falls on like a Tuesday or some shit.
National Argyle Day, January 8th. National Bubble Bath Day. National English Toffee Day. National Joy Germ Day. What does that even mean? Joy Germ?
When's National Seltzer Day? Can you look that up?
Oh. That is officially a secular talk holiday.
They should rename that shit. Emily
there isn't a National Seltzer Day. What?
There's got to be.
There's not, bro. What the fuck?
Kelly Kubel.
All right, you guys better get on this, man. You better find a way to make National Seltzer Day a Seltzer Day.
Will for the people.
You're still doing shout-out.
Daniel.
Corin's trying to bless all you guys, but I'm about to cut him short because it's about to be a wrap on this podcast.
Oh, let me get one more in. Kelly quits. I'll show love to the girls because I'm surprised that girls listen to our show. There was one girl who said she listens to us while she cooks dinner, but I can't find her shit right now. So shout out to her. She knows because she tweeted that.
I'm tight that there's multiple things for each day, man. This is not okay. National Public Sleeping Day, February 28th.
Put sure. I'm not going to say sure. You got to put more effort into your tweet. Oh, Ivafa. Evfa. Eva.
All right.
There's so many words that if you read the shit, you sound like an idiot, but then someone corrects you and you're like, you just said, whatever.
Big Dick McGee's ex. All right. We're out, guys. We love you. Everybody enjoy the rest of your day. Peace.